Hey everyone, welcome back to the Poplar Report. We're going to be going through some food shortage updates that you guys have sent in, so please do keep those rolling in. You can always email them directly to me at poplarpreparedness@gmail.com, or you can type them into any comment section of any video here. Just use the word update somewhere in there and give some sort of geographical location. Let's jump right into it, folks. Big Mike in southern New Hampshire, in Nashua, at the Walmart, said pasta has been cut down to 8 feet. So they've shortened the aisle section for pasta. Fresh meat hasn't been very well stocked in months. Fresh produce like peppers, greens, very low. Canned meat is in good shape, but bread has been hit hard. But they do have some, but prices are up. Frozen foods are okay this week so far, and that is in New Hampshire. ATC and other things says, Ohio. The nursing home I work for can't get frozen pizzas from our supplier, Sysco. And of course, if you know anything about Sysco, that is a big company. And if they can't get frozen pizzas, that is concerning. So we will have to keep an eye on frozen pizzas out there. David C. says, Idaho and Washington, farmers haven't planted like normal. They're broke and don't have the money for fertilizer, so they are relying on government checks. I have not heard that yet out there. We will have to see what the estimates look like for planting this year. And of course, Idaho and Washington areas are big potato areas. We desperately need a very large potato harvest this year, and those are very fertilizer intensive. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Parrot Africa in South Africa says grid collapse is on the way. And then she quotes this news article. It was actually a newscast, quoting the transcript from it. It seems rolling blackouts are about to worsen. Eskom, which is their power grid company, says its new national standards document proposes the implementation of power cuts up to stage 16. They've been already doing power cuts. They're doing at stage 6, which I believe is 4 hours off a day. It's hard to track with it. But basically, they're already having power outages every day, and they've been having this for months and months. Friends, the power grid in South Africa is literally coming apart at the seams. As they defer maintenance on the power generating facilities, they are having more and more breakdowns. So instead of doing preventative maintenance, they're having to do repairs. And that is making more and more of these power plants go offline, which is causing more and more of a shortage, which is them going into more and more panic with regards to everything, and they just can't get things fixed. This is from a viewer in Pacific Northwest. Shortage of parts. We need a scissor lift for construction work. Have been waiting for months for repair already. We were just informed today that parts from China did not come in the last import shipment ordered. Months waiting for a shipment, and it wasn't even in there. Next anticipated delivery is a year out. My husband will start checking junk dealers for parts. Hope we do not need to buy a replacement. We cannot plan for everything and buy all the extra parts we might need. It would be too much and too unpredictable. We're hearing that a lot all over the place. They can't get parts to fix anything. I had an engine in my car blow up, and so it's been sitting at the shop, no joke, for 5 months. They just haven't been able to find an engine. Now, it looks like they may have just found an engine, but it's going to cost like $4,600 for an engine. That's not how much engines usually cost. This is a used engine, mind you, with 70,000 miles on it. It's crazy. Susan says, went to my local Sam's Club in Hendersonville, North Carolina. Was there 2 days ago and everything was fine. Had to go back today for an item and found the following. They just received their shipments of produce and everything was stocked. But there were no portobello mushrooms or white mushrooms. That space was taken up with an endless supply of carrots. There was no asparagus to be found. They had had full large bins of onions, but they were all rotten. I could not find one bag that I would buy, and I needed onions. Large displays of various nuts that are on pallets were down to only about 1 or 2 rows. Normally there are at least a dozen rows. This is the lowest I have ever seen them. Huge change in just 2 days. Then I went to Harris Teeter Grocery and found all the eggs set to expire on the 19th. All the ones they had out on display going to expire on the 19th. Eggs are supposed to be good for a month or more. Yikes. Matt says, we live in Rochester, Minnesota, which is home to the original Mayo Clinic. We've seen a few shortages, mainly eggs and amoxicillin. The amoxicillin shortage really blew people's minds because of the Mayo Clinic there. The reason for my email is to update you on some surprising, to me, ATM changes. All the generic ATM machines have decreased the amount you can take out in the last week. My card/bank have not put a limit, but when I was at Costco on Thursday, their ATM now allows only $300 per transaction. Previously, last week, it was $400. Now, that's not the way inflation works, right? Inflation is not supposed to make things smaller. If anything, they should be upping the limit. Previously, last week, it was $400. Also, the gas station's ATM now only allows $200 withdrawal per transaction. Now, we're not doing a bank run here. Just taking your advice and pulling out 2 months worth of bills to have on hand. Seems extra smart after seeing these changes and taking much longer with these new limits. Friends, they don't want you in cash. Have you noticed that? Now, sitting in dollars is not the best place to be with inflation the way it is, but paper dollars are a heck of a lot better than ones and zeros on a computer screen that you can't access. So think that one through. I do recommend the 2 months of expenses that you can pay the people that you need to pay in order to keep your lights on and to keep yourself in your house. Keep in mind that you will have to pay real estate taxes. And of course, if you don't pay your real estate taxes, they will kick you out of your home if you own your own home. So keep that in mind too. You do not want to be in a place where you can't pay that because of banking issues. Jay says, encourage the community to get some ramen noodles. I have a complicated history of ramen noodles. Get ramen noodles now. Had ramen yesterday that expired February 2021. They store very, very well, and they are cheap supplies. I suspect there is about to be a ramen noodle shortage. Easily cooked, not labor intensive like dried beans. Yeah, I know, high in sodium, but something in the belly is better than nothing at all. So I do have some strong feelings about that. I don't regularly eat ramen, but yeah, when I was backpacking a good bit, I did eat ramen on the trail, and it did hit the spot because you needed the sodium. If you're sweating all day carrying a backpack, you need the sodium. So that's not such a bad thing to have that in there. But ramen noodles, remember that ramen noodles, how they make it is they actually deep fry it in oil, and so the noodles themselves are impregnated with oil. And so you do need to be careful because they will go, the noodles themselves will actually go rancid, right? So as opposed to like regular off-the-shelf pasta, which tends to not have any oil embedded in it or very little oil, that stuff like regular pasta off the shelf will store a lot better. But ramen noodles, they're still good for a number of years, and like you said, they are dirt cheap. And so I like to have a big supply of them and rotate them, and I confess they do tend to get thrown out if they get stale, and they do get stale. But the fact is that it's such a cheap prep to have stockpiled up, and if you have a whole bunch of hungry people coming through and wanting some food, you just hand out those ramen noodle packets, and it's easy to distribute, and like I said, one, you can eat them cold. You don't need to heat them up. It's not very tasty to do that, but you can do it. Whereas rice and beans, you can't eat cold. It's just not possible. So Some things to think about there. I like to pick up some cases of them and just kind of stack them up on shelves, and then just, if they're there if needed, right? Bardacat from Southeast California says, I went to the Dollar Tree and 99-cent store today. I didn't know there were 99-cent stores. Cool. There were some tissues at the Dollar Tree, lack of candy and chocolate, and scarce of medication. Other products were some or more or less, depending what you were looking for. You take for whatever that means. So some things there, some things not, I think. The 99-cent store, there were less gardening products and less shampoo there. So things getting hit or miss at some of those dollar stores. Cat Cafe at the Safeway in North Pole, Alaska. So say hi to Santa for us. Short on produce, including bananas and salad greens. They had radishes, but they were rotting. Short on lunch meat, hot dogs, etc. Fred Meyer's in East Fairbanks, Alaska, is low on produce, including lettuce, romaine, cucumbers, squash, carrots, etc. Some of the stuff they do have in stock was not in viable condition. Now, of course, that is a bit out there, but you know how the produce is going bad on your store shelves, or as soon as you take it home. Just imagine if you're at the end of the supply chain like they are, it is going bad before it gets to them. And so that's just kind of showing the quality and just where we are with the supply chain right now. Just the greens coming out of California are not doing well. They have flooding there, which is going to be making the problem even worse over the coming weeks, probably. Well, that remains to be seen how bad that's going to impact salad greens and other vegetables. Kentucky Home says, Dollar Tree early on Thursday evening, May 11th, in South Central Kentucky. Looks like the food area is smaller and freezers were 95% empty. Medication area has been skimpy for weeks. Madam K in Northeast Wisconsin, the lunch meat was almost empty, and what was there was gray in color, which was the ham. Turkey looked greenish, reddish, on sale. Yuck. Deli counter only had so many selections and $10.99 a pound, so the lunch meat was not good. Cheaper ham was $5.99 on sale, but it looked white. Salad dressing very low. Bakery and bread was full. Hooray. But no rice in bags. Instant minute rice and pouches were half gone and only small boxes of rice. 3 of our veggie holders are just gone, replaced with 1 meat cooler. So do check the quality of the meats that you're buying these days, because unfortunately we are seeing more issues of rancid meat and meat kind of spoiling too before it gets out there. It's just crazy. The stuff that they would never put out on the shelves before is now hitting the shelves all over the place. So keep your eyes on that. But those are the reports that we have for you today. If you found this video useful or helpful, please hit that thumbs up button. Help get this out to more people. And there's another video from this channel right here you might want to check out. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report, out.